And so you have come, whether to aid the house or rain punishment on the Tuatha, I do not know. That you are here is enough. To assuage your confusion, I am Bizarrain, king of the house. During your trials, I will observe and communicate to you through this medium. This is about you, of course. You are the only mortal to be given a chance to join the House of Sorrows. But do not think such an offer is given out of honor or respect for you. What drives me to this offer is what brought you here. Necessity. Through the crystal you see before you, it is not magical in and of itself, but a conduit for my own magic. All your actions will be known to me. Every word will be listened to. What you do is of no concern to me. What I hope to evaluate is what you are, to know how you might best help the house. I have locked the way behind you. The way forward is your only path out of these halls. I can tell you no more, other than that I will be watching.
The beast will kill me if you do not help. Beast roam these halls, mortal. Once these lands were quiet, gentle. Now they mean to kill all that tread upon it, even the Winter Fae. My people have lived in peace for decades, centuries. But now we're awash in war and corruption, and we cannot stop it. I do not know. The midden, it has been sullied. We've never feared such assaults until recently. Wait, what was that? It is here!
So you have completed your first trial. Your actions spoke volumes, but your reactions are just as pertinent. You killed the creature that was chasing that woman. Why? It would be at great fault if I did not know something of you, the mysterious mortal without a fate to call his own. Your lack of fate is intriguing, I will admit. And although it is why I summoned you, it does not represent the whole of your nature. Hence, the need for evaluation. Ahead, you will find a Fae of Sorrows succumbing to poison. I am interested to see what you make of him.
Please, are you the mortal that Bizarrain has brought to aid us? The one he is promised? Thank mercy I have been poisoned. But now that you are here, you can kill me. Please, end my suffering. I do not know. It is some poison. In other times, the Fae would not be vulnerable to this. But we are weaker now. We are prone. I could have walked from this once. But now... Please, mortal. I know it's strange, but the Fae are not like you. Death is different to us. I will rise once more in time, but killing me will let me escape this suffering. I do not know. Everything is blurred. I do not even know where I am. It must have been him. He does whatever he cares with his subordinates. It was Bizarrain. He was meant to save us from the Tuatha, to preserve our oldest traditions, to protect the Winter Fae. you will just let me suffer. Cruel.
So, you spared the sword. I wonder, was it some sense of honor that stayed your blade, or something crueler? To see what you will do clearly. So, you spared the sword. I lead a court of Winterfey who wish to free these lands from the Tuatha, and we have gone too long without new blood. You have demonstrated substantial worth. One trial remains. You have reached this chamber at last. The time of trial is over. No more apparitions, no more questions. The House of Sorrows has always held a precarious position in this world, and now we hold on to it by the tips of our fingers. You think you have broken the Tuatha's grip on Cluracan. You have not. Even now, the Winterfey and the House of Sorrows are subject to their malice. I am the King of Sorrows. I have held dominion over these halls, over this house, over the Winterfey who dwell here. But the war upon Cluracan has sapped me of my strength. Should these times continue, I may become nothing. Nothing at all. It is we who permit the Winterfey to rise above their basic nature, to foster decay and ruin. A nature that normally divides rather than unites. For a time, the House avoided the war that cleaves this land. But now that war is upon us, and we are not ready. I am not one to take anything on faith. If I wish to know an object's worth, I examine it for myself. This trial is designed to demonstrate your mettle. Because there are trials that I can observe from afar, and others that I must see at hand. We have reached the trial that I must be present for, if I am to test you truly. We have reached the trial that I must be... What you need to do and why you must do it are two very different matters, mortal. I deal in instructions, not explanations. Indeed. You have reached the house. You think you have broken the... but the war upon Clurach... For a time, this trial is... The House of Sorrows has always existed to preserve and maintain the oldest traditions of winter. We are the essence of these Fey lands. The house holds an authority among the Fey that the Tuatha have always coveted. Now, they finally seek to claim that power for their own. We must conclude your trial. Ready your weapon. You are to strike me down. Because there are trials, we have reached the trial that I must be... What you need to do and why you must do it are two very different matters, mortal. I deal in instructions, not explanations. Nor could you have fought me if you had chosen to do so. What you see before you is but an apparition. Speak. Now that your trial has concluded, come with me. The Tuatha have yet to break down our doors, but I would not put that past them. The house is poised to collapse from the Tuatha's dissension and destruction, and I need one to help us. I know it is not the mortal way to test someone in a manner such as this. The beast, the poison, it was all done out of necessity. I did not need you to understand the trial. I only needed it completed. I do not have time for you to meet the struggles of the house unprepared. Your reactions were real, but the Fae with whom you interacted, Tybri, Kadarok, and myself, were not. They were but apparitions of the Fae you will come to know in this house. As facsimiles, the apparitions were appropriate enough, but I think you will find their real-world counterparts more complex. Then welcome to our ranks, mortal. The Hearthstone I gave you at the start of the trials will now reflect your affinity with us. Come, join me at the House of Sorrows. I will show you a world stranger than you have ever seen. If we are to discuss the plight of the house, I will do so at its heart. Come, meet me in the main hall of the House of Sorrows, and we will speak more. The Prince of Sorrows once, but now, no longer. He wages a war against the Tuatha with little support but his own strength. Perhaps that is enough for him, but the only thing he will weaken is the house's morale. My summer brethren embody the growth and progression of nature. As such, establishing the summer realms came easy to them. But the winter Fae bear the burden of regression and decay in their essence. Left alone, they would never be able to overcome such a weight. They could never unite. The house's founder, the Weeping King, took on their sorrows and freed them. We carry the burden inherent in the winter Fae, so they can achieve greatness. The Midden is the cradle in which our race of winter was fostered. It is a place of rot, of decay, a place where the House of Sorrows holds reign. To your kind, it is a celebration of war. But before your mortal corpses were hung there by Tuatha, it was the emblem of our house's duty. The most reverent corpses were placed not in the Midden, but hung upon those boughs, to show all of nature that we still revere our essence of decay. But like all things in these lands, the tree has been defiled by war. Saturnin took our greatest symbol and turned it to filth. He is the agent of the Tuatha, and though he bears their allegiance, his appearance is that of a winter Fae. I am certain of it. I know little of him, but of me and my house, his knowledge is wide and deep. With every action, he reveals that he is merely toying with us. He is not a type of foe I am familiar with, for he does not attack outright. Instead, he instills fear and despair. The Far Kelidae, they call themselves. The Faithful. They take the Fae of Winter and craft them into an army. But they know little of true devotion. The House of Sorrows made a pact with the Tuatha. They would not interfere with us if we did not interfere with their war with the Alfar. Of course, the Tuatha did not trust us, so they insisted that a new king be appointed to the house, one agreeable to both parties. In the end, I was the one chosen. I was to be king. But in answering that call, I have been labeled a traitor by many within the house.
It seems these days that many flock to the Midden, either to jeer at the ruin of the gallows tree, or to bring ruin to this house. Which are you, I wonder? I will no longer stomach the delays and insults of Bizarane. The house must be led to war. If not by him, then by someone else. We are a thing of necessity, so I am told. an answer to our brethren, the Summer Fae, and the court they have constructed. There are few places in the world that have magic like the Midden does. This is an ancient place, a home of elder things than we Fae. Can he hope for victory alone, when the whole of the house fears defeat? I applaud his determination, but I feel it will be his undoing. It is a difficult thing, not to know who your opponent is. No one can truly be trusted, not until Saturnin is stopped. Keep the sorrows.
Greetings, Siegebreaker. Although there is much that must be done, I have time to talk. To be a member of the House is a great honor. Without the House of Sorrows, there would be no Court of Winter, no culture in these lands, only winter. Before there was a Court of Winter, before there was a House of Sorrows, there was the Midden, a place where Winter Fae would come to die. The bodies left to rot here mark the covenant of the House. Though the Winter Fae may stave off decay to create its courts and culture, they cannot escape it forever. It is the emblem of the House. It is the heart of the Midden. It is said it has always been here, even during the times of the Weeping King. He is the Faithlok Tocht, the choking vine. He reaches from briars dark and unknown to strangle the life from us. Farewell.
Mortal, there is something that requires the attention of one of your kind. You have been to the Midden, yes? The sacred ground being desecrated by the corpses of your kind? The nature of my request is not something the Midden needs, but something the Midden should do without. The corpses of your brethren have been thrown into the Midden as a declaration of hostility by the Tuatha. But they do more than signify a point. Their corruption and rot have drawn an ancient Lianshi Mithgra from slumber. She gluts herself on the bodies and will further corrupt the Midden if unchecked. To feed, Lianshi are drawn to death and decay, something Winter Fae embody in spirit, but which mortals embody in flesh. When mortal corpses began appearing in the Midden, Mithgra was unable to resist the temptation before her, and now she runs rampant. You cannot hope to solve the problem with a simple application of violence. Biathra is old, and she is wise to obvious attacks on her. Searching will yield no quarry, so you must be cunning. If we cannot find her in the Midden, we can force her to return to her den beneath the house. Find fresh corpses, the ones Mithgra prefers to eat, and cremate them. With no food to scavenge, she will return to her den. Then, you can kill her. With great difficulty. She is clever, and hides well when any come hunting for her. To search for her outright would be folly. But with some cunning, we can force her to appear. Mithgra prefers fresh corpses. Destroy those, and she would likely return to... Locate any fresh corpses you can find, and cremate them. Without she is an ancient and powerful Lianshi. Normally she hibernates in the Midden, but the recent influx of dead mortals has driven her to feed. It will only be a matter of time before she further corrupts the Midden with her presence. For the house's sake, she must be put down. It is from these halls that we of the house safeguard the oldest traditions of winter. It must be shown due reverence. It was a gift of the earth to commemorate the rot and decomposition of the Fae. Then the Tuatha sullied it with the corpses of their prisoners. Mortals do not decay like Fae do. Mortals putrefy and corrupt. The Midden and the House now feel this grisly taint. The gallows tree is the silent sentinel of the Midden, demonstrating how life grows out of death. It justifies our existence, defines it. It is a symbol not only of the House of Sorrows, but of the Winter Fae. To bear one's corpse upon it was a sacred rite, until the Tuatha defiled it with mortal remains. If there was anyone meant to bear the title King of Sorrows, it was him. Had we not succumbed to the Tuatha's bargaining, he would have been king. Instead, we turned our backs on him. I have nothing more to say about him other than history will know him as the victor. Make haste.
Tread carefully. The war has scarred our sacred lands, and Saturnin has shook this house to its core. Tybri has been through here again. She claims that the crimes of Tybri has been through here again. She claims that the cries of the Sorrows are growing louder. She is an abomination.
Let us talk. And so you come. The least powerful of us in some regards, the most powerful in many others. I am Rorid, mortal, one of the tenders of the Midden. I have always lived my life here in this house. What will become of me when it is gone? Are our fates bound, or will they be undone? There is little that can be done for this place now. The Tuatha have sullied our ancestral cradle with the bodies of mortals. It may be changed forever. Nothing good remains for us. Too much has already been lost in this struggle with the Tuatha. There are those that flee the house, as a crow fleeing a coming storm. But Sidon is more than that. He seeks to free us from the Tuatha. Be wary.
So, there is a mortal after all. Bizarrain has done little in his time as king that has been quite so progressive as welcoming a mortal into our fold. I have given up mortal. It is the way of life to struggle, I think, in the jaws of death. But how can we consider ourselves devout if we struggle? No. Let us lay down our arms, let us lay upon the midden soil and pass on. How fitting, I think, that this place becomes like the bodies we tend. Empty, cold, and eventually consisting of nothing. Quiet place once. I used to watch the rooks and crows rest gently upon its boughs, but now the beasts are savage things, glutting themselves on rotten flesh. It is said that Saturnin is one of us, one of the house. But who? Why would one of us betray us to the Tuatha? His is the voice that cries out when struck dead. I see only doom for our people, and neither Bizarrain nor Sidon can avert it. Be safe.
Greetings, mortal. I am a tender of the Midden. I have been instructed to offer you what insight I can give about the art of dispelling. I have always felt magic's call, but in the Midden, the call is strongest. It allows me to see charms and spells and undo them. This I teach to all who listen. Be warned, mortal. The Midden is no longer what it once was. It is a place of beasts and dark, putrid magic, unsafe to all who enter. Once, we lived in the wilds of the Midden, but as the place became defiled, we had to take refuge in these old halls for fear of the beasts outside, and of Saturnin. If there is nothing else we can do, if we cannot bring a lasting peace for our house, then at least let us bring an end to Saturnin. Though we are targeted by Tuatha, Sidon is the only one who wages open war against them. For good or ill, I do not know. Remember.
I appear. The mortal. This house is full more of portents than of sorrow these days. Your arrival must truly be a telling of how dark these times have grown. We were greater once. We had tenders and delvers throughout these lands, not individuals huddled in worry over Saturnin and the Tuatha. I've seen this house in strong winters and weak ones, but I never pledged my being to a beast as winded and laboring as the house is now. The tree is ever quiet, but sometimes you can hear it groan under the weight of the indignities it now bears. Saturnin has gone too far with his latest assault. The beast will be caught, for until now he has not tasted the strength of winter. He will pay for his crimes against us. The outcast? What more is there to speak than to say that he abandoned the traditions of this house out of lust for war and reprisal? Perhaps his motives are just. But nature cares little for what one does in the name of justice. Only what one does in the name of survival. Beware of Saturnin.
We must move. For too long have we remained idle, slumbering while the war tears on around us. Bizerain is wrong. We must attack.
Speak swiftly. And you have come to Drozer. I know of your kind, mortal. I have seen what you have to offer. War, destruction, calamity. You are better off leaving us be. What do you wish to know of me, mortal? What of a Fae could you hope to understand? I will not deign to explain my life to you. We are the foundation upon which all Winter Fae rely. By attacking us, the Tuatha have turned their back on their own kin once and for all. Once, the bodies of our most faithful members were hung upon the tree. But now, the Tuatha have decorated it with the butchered corpses of mortals. Blasphemy! I have seen the Tuatha as they fell upon the houses of pride and of vengeance. It was horrible and maddening. But never have I seen a Tuatha draw out a battle such as this. Never have I seen one enjoy such malice. I have seen that, but never have I. He will always be a prince of the house, even though we have parted ways. I wish him well. Be careful.
Greetings. You, the Siegebreaker, walks here. Good. Now perhaps the Tuatha will have cause to fear us. I am Heisener, one of the Delvers. For too long have I been within this house, unable to help my brethren. I wish to walk the woods again. I wish to delve again. once they could look into a Fae and take the burden of winter from their heart. But now, the Delvers are deaf to the sorrows. All, it seems, but one. The Winter Fae look to us to appease the decay in Winter's heart. Through our efforts, all of Winter Fae are able to transcend their nature. There's little that can be said of it. The tree is the oldest in these lands. Like we Winter Fae, it thrives off decay. I never thought to know a menace I could not see or hear or strike. And yet the Tuatha have furnished us with one. Sidon the outcast. Nothing is truly solitary in nature, but Sidon walks a lonelier path than most. I wish him well. Farewell.
What is need? The Tuatha have butchered our court of winter, sundered Bale, and now they have corrupted the Midden, the birthplace of winter.
Many tidings, mortal. I am a tender of this house. What is it you require? I cannot venture into the Midden. Not any longer. There are beasts both ravenous and cruel, and sights loathsome to behold. It scares me. When the world was young, it was from the Midden that we were born, and that all things came to die. We are the penitent ones who oversee the rotting of the world. Your kind reviles us, but without our aspects of nature, nothing would ever flourish. I thought the Tuatha were capable only of barbarity, only of outright vengeance. Instead, we are told that the Tuatha have unleashed on us a beast of cunning, of sly vindictiveness, and it cannot be stopped. Though he has done well to stand against the Tuatha, he has done so by embracing their warlike methods. Sorrows go with you.
Ah, it seems there were more to the rumors of Bizarrane's pet mortal than I gave credit. I am Matea, Lord Keeper of the House. I hold the lore of the house in my being. It is a responsibility that I alone can bear. As such, I am neither Delver nor Tender. Delvers are not chosen. Though many wish to follow in the steps of the Weeping King, few have his gift. Those that do, then, are compelled to serve as he did. Delvers see to the sorrows of a Fae, but Tenders see to his flesh. When a Fae dies, Tenders take the body to the Midden and see it safely into rot. Once a gentle place where the bodies of the Winter Fae were returned to the earth, the Midden is now a mire of filth, of putrid mortal death. Be careful when within. There has always been a House of Sorrows, it seems. Not long after the birth of the Winter Fae came the Weeping King, and with him, the House. There is no precedent for a foe like this. Even in the ancient wars, no Fae ever acted in a manner such as Saturnin. I am at a loss to know what we must do to stop him. I do not believe it is a victory we can achieve. Though he fights in the name of our people, I cannot help but feel abandoned by him. I only hope this war does not consume him. Until next time.
Be quick!
have a task for you. Of late, there are many in this house who have come to view my authority with disdain. As such, there is need of someone unbiased by our house's history and the traditions therein. Someone such as you. We must move quickly. The Tuatha will not hold their strikes for long. Let us stop their next blow. You fail to understand. Although the Tuatha wage war with us, as they have with the Alfar, they do so by other methods. Our enemies are subtle. They target individuals, not armies. They strike at convictions, not cities. And by doing so, they can retreat to where we cannot find them. For all our years of struggle, we know only this, that our enemy is led by a Tuatha agent, Saturnin. He is the master of this shadowy coup. We cannot right now. He hides himself and covers his tracks well. But I have a lead which you will investigate with one of our delvers, Tybri. A tender, Catarak, has fled the house and killed a fellow member in doing so. I suspect Saturnin's influence, or perhaps that Catarak might be Saturnin himself. Bring Tybri to the body of Catarak's victim. Though dead, the sorrows will remain on the corpse. The sorrows can lead us to Catarak. There is a tender named Catarak who has fled our ranks. I want you to find him and put an end to him. For if he is not Saturnin himself, then he is betraying our secrets to the Tuatha. The tenders are those sacred few who oversee the decay and decomposition of a winter phase body. They also oversee the midden itself. For like a body, the midden is a physical thing, a vessel for rot and ruin, that which is required for death to become rebirth. Finally, they once tended to the gallows tree, but that was before the Tuatha perverted it. Members of the house may choose one of two paths, the path of the Delver, or the path of the Tender. Delvers are those who commune with the sorrows of the living Fae and the recently deceased. They draw forth these sorrows and assume them. However, most Delvers lost their talent over these last few centuries. But our youngest, Tybri, shows some promise.
What is needed?
Let us talk.
So, you were the mortal. There were whispers that Bizarine had welcomed one of you amongst us. But to pick the siege breaker, I am awed. I forget myself. Bizarine has made his wishes clear, and we must do as he asks. Are you ready to begin? I am Tybri. I have only 2 centuries to my name. I was asked to join the house because of my abilities. I can hear them, the sorrows in people, the essence of decay and ruin that precedes winter. I can even hear the sorrows faintly in you. Few delvers are left who can hear any sorrows at all, but never have any claim to hear them as much as I. Many believe me to be a liar, or an abomination. The Midden was once a sacred place for the House of Sorrows, for all Winter Fae, where the bodies of the dead were left to decompose. Our bodies do not rot as mortal corpses do. So when Saturnin placed the bodies of mortals here, they putrefied, corrupting the Midden. Scavengers and beasts now roam the Midden, and the body we seek is deep within. I must have someone to watch my back. Farewell. Body is here. I must begin my work. But the magic is sure to draw the wild fae in the area. Hold them back while I commune with the sorrows. Farewell. It is done. Cadoric's sorrows left a strong impression on the corpse. He is hiding in the Siren Crypt in the Drowned Forest. You should go there, but be wary. The impression Cadoric left on the body was conflicted. Something is not right here. I will return to the house With the beast beaten back, it should prove safe enough now. The dead do not speak lies. Cadarok has gone to Siren Crypt in the It was once a mighty fortress. But like all things in this war, it was reduced to ruin. Lesser, cruder beasts and beings walk its halls now. For Cadarok to hide there, it makes little sense. But from what the Sorrows told me, it seems as though he had nowhere else to go. We, are the backbone of the house. Delvers can look into the essence of Winterfell, find the sorrows within, and take upon that burden. The Weeping King was the first to perform this function. The Delvers witnessed his powers, and imitated as they could. Only now, no Delver has this art, save for me. Farewell.
What is it? I have felt the energies of Mithra fade to Ashara, mortal. I am glad that this business is concluded. At least the Midden will not be in danger of corruption any more than it already is. I thank you for your part in keeping it so. As payment, take this bauble. I discovered it on a body on one of your kind. May it be useful to you in your travels. We keep the Midden as a monument to the debt we Winter Fae have made with nature. But now the Midden is defiled, and we can do our task no longer. Yes, yes.
Hello once more, Wanderer. Have you... Very well. If you find you have time to look, go with the gods.
Hello again. Welcome back to the camp, stranger. Farewell.
There are more of your kind, mortal, camped in the Midden. I would see...
There are more of your kind, mortal.
You? You are the one who slew the Baelor at Nelson Shear. I was at that battle as well. It was my unit that drove the Tuatha off the southern wall. Please, you must help me. Those Jotun will not let me survive much longer. Many soldiers of the Alpha army were drafted, but I volunteered. I could not watch as my southern cousins were annihilated. I have been fighting alongside my brethren for years, and just as I was starting to think that this war would never end, you showed up. Thank you, hero, for giving me hope. The wind is ferocious, the rocks are sharp, and the water is still and black. You could not find a more inhospitable place. They are vile creatures. I do not know how anyone can stand to be around them. You would have to be desperate to hire them as mercenaries. The key to this cage is held by a Jotun rune lord, just down the road. That fat bastard comes by here every morning and taunts me with it. Please, retrieve it and get me the hell out of here. After the siege was broken, my commander saw the witch knight Claren fleeing to the east. He thought that if we could catch him before he made it to Alabastra, we could get rid of one of the Tuatha generals. We did not count on Claren having a refuge full of Jotun mercenaries. Thank you. The Jotun Rune Lord is just down the road. Please hurry, for I have unfinished business in the keep on the hill. I have never encountered another Fae like him. He is one of the most sadistic generals of the Tuatha army. I do not think he even cares about their religion anymore. He just wants to see the world bathed in blood. That Jotun Rune Lord down the road, he possesses it. Good luck.
There are rumblings in the Court of Winter. There are Fae who are preaching beyond a world of rot. They fly in the face of sorrows, the cycles. They do not honor our tradition, but they are wrong. There is no winter without death. There is no growth without decay.
Faithful, a child of dust is here for death. Grant their pitiful wish. Tirnoch watches over you,
and blesses you with her unyielding rage. No longer shall we tolerate the mortals and their vile presence in our world! Fight all your life for. We will carry on when you are dust. So, the undying mortal from the well has returned. Your mere existence is an abomination against all things. How can you not see this? Mortals pervert the world, twisting it to their own ends. Your unnatural new life is only the latest in a long line of your kind's debaucheries. But Tiernok the Merciful chose me to be the cure. My army is the wildfire that will clear the land of you and your kind.
Please tell me that barrel of Cruddock slime died painfully. I have another favor to ask of you, hero. The Witch Knight Clarin is holed up in Gennig, the keep on the hill. Meet me inside so that we can hunt him. We cannot let one of the Tuatha's generals escape. We need to go to Gennig, the keep on the hill. Meet me inside. Until the next time. you are here. Claren has filled this place with Jotun mercenaries. He must not have had that much faith in the Tuatha cause. We cannot let him escape. He must die. No doubt he has surrounded himself with Jotun guards. This will not be easy. I am not sure. We must find the Witch Knight, Claren, and defeat him. Good luck. To his blades, my friends, my comrades. Even seeing his broken body does nothing to lessen my anger. All of the Tuatha will suffer for their barbarity. Thank you, hero. I will return to the main Alpha army with the news of the Witch Knight's death. Until next time. Greetings, hero. It is an honor to talk with you. Until next time.
I've got plenty of supplies if you... You've got plenty of coin. Back again.